offense looked phenomenal today as far as from a conservative standpoint. And we were trying to play a game of being more conservative, kind of playing this ball control type of thing. I mean, we went to Pound Town today with Pacheco. That's for damn sure. He looked pretty damn good. I think he needs to be giving him more carries than he did, but with the touch that he got, over 120 yards rushing on like 15 carries, pretty solid stuff. What do you guys think about what you saw from the conservative offense that we had today?
I mean, I loved it. You know, it came out, I guess, I forgot who did the report, was speaking on where they were saying this thing was a little bit difficult. They didn't like the rotation. The rotation was a problem, an issue for them. I know they're just now understanding this week 17, but I think we were talking about this probably week number 2 or 3, that it didn't look like that was going to be sustainable. And one of the things I made a point was, if you're not putting guys in with their skill set and you're just rotating guys in and out, and you might find a smaller guy on the outside and trying to do different plays, that's irresponsible to me. So I'm glad they at least addressed it. I'm glad they changed some things up. You could tell that the rhythm was different. And so I think we need to, going forward, we need to do a little bit more of this, the little conservative look. And it seemed like it was working. Guys looked like they were playing fast, and that's what you want to happen. You don't want guys thinking about what they need to do out there on the football field. It's just all reaction, and everybody's just playing. Another thing that we need to do, okay, and I keep saying this, I keep reiterating it over and over again, is we got to give the ball to Pacheco. Like you said that. We have to give the ball to 10. Like there's no reason that we have to do it. We almost have to say every series that we play offensively, we got to give it to 10 at least once. I don't care what I don't care if it's 3rd and 25. Find him, get the ball to him. Okay? Find him and give the ball to him. But he is our guy. He is our guy on offense. We know that the offense is going to do better when you give him the ball. He's going to get better every time he has the ball in his hands. And so we got away from that. Very first opening drive looked beautiful. I think it was 7 plays for 76 yards. Exquisite. Then we come back, second series, don't even hand the ball to him. We give a swing pass to MVS, 2 passes, out, 3 and out, done. And I'm sitting there thinking, what are we doing? Like, why go back to those things that wasn't working for us before, and we don't utilize Pacheco? It's just crazy to me. It didn't make any sense. And that's the frustrating part of it is, okay, you had such great rhythm going in the very first offensive series. Looked beautiful, exactly how it was supposed to be written up and scripted. And then the second series, you just like you just threw the whole thing out the window. So I love that about our offense, is at least trying to get back there, doing our thing that we're supposed to do. But we need to do more of that. And we need to find 4 more. We need to find Travis more. But Richie James, those guys that came out here and started playing and making some plays, Justin Watson, same thing. These guys need to get looks. Noah Gray need to get looks. So that's what I think offensively.
What were your takeaways? Because I know we were talking throughout the game, and you talked about obviously the conservative approach that we had, but we took a little bit more deep shots today than we have, and that was something that we kind of talked about during the week. We weren't taking that many deep shots, and it looks like the kind of conservative approach, the handing the ball up, allowed us to do a little more of the play action, a little PA bomb action, which we only we connected on one of them, but like we tried them more. But what was your overall take on offensively?
I thought we connected Watson and then Rice, right?
Yeah.
We should have had more. I mean, MVS. That's all I gotta say. To go back to what Jay said about being conservative, I just feel like we're so, and we saw it early in the second half, we got away from running it again. I feel like we're so obsessed with trying to get some of these receivers past their rough patch. I feel like we just want to get them beyond it so we can just rely on them and just run a normal offense again, not have to worry about getting guys on and off field. We're hearing about that in week 17. It's cool that they're willing to readjust and try what works, but it also shows a level of desperation too, to a certain degree, right? The running game came back. It just shows you how important Pacheco is to this team. And another reason why I said on the betting show that I would not overlook prioritizing another running back, because if Pacheco goes down, we're in big trouble. We're in big time trouble. Those tough yards, those tough 5 to 7 yards don't come easy, and he's really good at picking them up. It gave us a lot more third and shorts, which was so frustrating, which made how bad we were on third down so frustrating. We were 3 of 12. That's our second worst mark of the season, I believe. We've only had 2 games where we were worse than that. That was Jacksonville and Denver, both wins, which is funny that, we've had 3 of our worst third down performances and we got wins in all of them. But it's only the second time we beat an opponent despite having a worse third down percentage than them. And then red zone, it's just been the story of our season. We just get down there. We can move the ball. We can move the ball pretty well. It's just we get down there anytime, not even beyond the red zone, like the 30 or 40. Once we get to their side of the field, we just don't play the same way. It's really frustrating. 1 of 3 again. And I hate to be negative, but we lost time of possession by almost 9 minutes, which is crazy. And Miami's the only other team that we beat despite losing time of possession. So that's just interesting that it's not going to come that often, but it was a weird game. And since I think it's partly because Cincinnati had the ball so much in the first half.
Like he was talking about, like the deep passes, you have those things that's open. It's the same thing they kept bringing that 8 in the box, bring the safety down, because that's the way that Vegas played us last week. And they knew it. They was waiting for the short passes, right? Because we do all the short passes. Supposedly people call it check, but we're not checking down. It's the short passes, trying to get to Kelce, double Kelce up. Who else is going to get open, right? They know we do the swing passes. I think last week was an anomaly because we did so much of it. And going to your point, trying to get guys going. Now here, I think is a good thing. Okay, I don't think it's a problem with that whatsoever. Just don't be so loyal to it that it takes you out of the rhythm that you should be doing, like pushing the ball down the field. Okay, I think MVS is definitely a guy that you got to get going. I like the swing pass to MVS, to be honest with you. Okay, because it gives him confidence. Like a guy that's struggling, give him something he can handle. Give him some confidence. Now,
didn't do that much good though, did it?
Well, I think, look, he had the drop pass. All right, he had the drop pass.
2, right?
Well, the one I do know, the one that was behind him, he should have caught. Right, it was on his hip. He could have caught that. And it's just so frustrating because I feel bad for him. I really do.
So do I.
He was struggling. I'm like, Dad, God, come on, MVS. Like, you just need that. And that's why you see Travis come over, try to console him a little bit. Like, hey, man, keep your head up. The worst thing you possibly do is come to the sideline and ain't nobody tapping you on your shoulder like, hey, man, don't worry about it. It seemed like everybody parted him like the Red Sea. It's like, oh, get away from this. It's like the virus. We don't want to catch the virus, right? So,
what did you think of because there was a clip that happened after that drop there where he had both hands on and he dropped it on that play. Afterwards, he did a thing where he was like motioning, like it seemed to me like he was like telling Pat, like you put it behind me, like bring it in. And I posted it online, like like usually when a receiver drops pass, you usually see like my bad, but like instead he's like it looks like he's like telling Pat, like, dude, like right here.
No, I see receivers do it all the time. Like, hey, man, like put it out in front of me. I get it. I get what he was saying, but the thing is, you have your hands on the ball, catch the football.
Yeah,
catch it. He had open grass in front of him, right? And he had a legitimate gripe on that play. He had a legitimate gripe. If Pat leaves him, he's catching the football, man. He's hitting his head on the goalpost. So
I feel like if he's not having the terrible year he's having, he wouldn't even make that excuse in the game, though. I feel like because he knows in his head how many drops he's had, and it's a big thing in the league. Everyone knows it. It's media. KC media's all over him. He's like, he has to like justify every single drop. Like, no, that doesn't count. It was back here. It's like, dude, just play. Just like next play.
Yeah. But and the quarterback will come to a guy on the sideline. I don't even care. Like if it was even Devontae Adams, you throw it behind him and stuff. They'll let him know, like, hey man, my fault. A quarterback will tell him that. And I think, to be honest with you, I think they both feel that way, Teja. So Pat is like, hey, man, catch the football. Because Pat don't want it on him as well. And I think this is where we are offensively, right? Because we know how bad it's been with the drops. And even Pat knows maybe some of the balls have been off. And so with him being a quarterback, pinpointing, he knows get out in front of him, that's a touchdown, right? But because we are professionals, you don't worry about it. You hit the hands, man, catch the football. Catch it. So I think everybody looks for that escapism. I think they do.
And Patrick was being hit there, too. He was being hit.
He had no pocket to step into that.
Yeah, he just got nailed half a second later. So, I mean,
you make an excuse for Patrick Mahomes?
No.
Well, listen, hey, both those guys, not bad. Both of them. Let's put it that
when
way.
MVS does that, Mahomes is like, "Oh yeah, side of my head getting hit." That's why.
I'm fighting for my life out here, man. Get on that offensive line in front of me. How about that?
If your hands were on the ball, like his hands were on my helmet. So yeah, catch it next time, dude. But I also feel like Patrick's like trying to play. He's almost trying to play so perfect to overcome. I feel like we have so much in our heads at this point. We're in our own heads. God, this would have been a great year for a bye. But we're in our heads so much. Everyone's just trying to play so perfect, and I think they're too just wound up, and they're in their own heads way too much, just way too much.
But that's the reason why you run the football, because it gives you like a little bit of that break. It gives you a little bit of that confidence where, now I hand it off and he's making yards. You just keep advancing the football, keep advancing it, keep advancing it, keep advancing it. And so getting into that rhythm, we can get the ball out your hands kind of quick. I think we've seen Pat throw one to Pacheco, was a check down, and Pacheco was money in the receiving game too, man. He had an incredible game.
Yeah,
that's the Pacheco we needed. The way he came out last week, you could tell he was a little tenderfooted, running around. Just like, I'm not quite sure. This week,
he let it rip.
Yeah, totally different guy. But I think, he kind of came out Kelce, too early. It was a third down. He threw a swing pass to Pacheco in the flat, the check down. But yeah, he's trying to play perfect. I get it. I get that point. I get that point of it. But they have to, right? Like you said, all eyes are on them. And so every little thing everybody's looking at and keeps bringing up all the drop passes, all that. That's what they're hearing. They're hearing that. But my thing is, I'm glad they're kind of going this course because for them, this team, they don't need a bye. They don't need one. They don't need a break. They need to keep getting better week in and week out. That's what they need. They need that hard. Yeah, they need that hard journey. They need that. And so hopefully it's just refining them to get them better to what they need to do. But yeah, we look, and I'm going to say this because I've seen some people talking about the offensive line. Our guys need to run the football. Okay, Wanya Morris needs to run the football. When you leave him one-on-one over there with Hendricks and those guys, that's a problem. That's the guy we need to be helping and chipping us sometimes. We just got to know. Some things we just got to know.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're better suited running the football. 3rd and 1, 3rd and 3. I'm like, why are we not play action? At least play action. At least play action. This is the perfect time to play action. This is the perfect time to play some bully ball. But we want to sit back in the shotgun and don't give a defense anything to look at.
Yeah. I'd love to see our play action numbers actually, because we should have done it more. When the run game is that effective, switch it up and start running more play actions.
Run more play actions, man. I mean, that just changes eyes. It changes everybody. And when you have 3 tight ends in, you got 3 guys who can go out and go get it. So that's what kind of bothers me, because I don't quite understand why we're not figuring that out offensively, scheming-wise, from Nagy or Reed, whoever it is that's making the call, right? I'll just name both of them. How about that? Because we don't know who's making the calls during that time. But 3rd and 3, you should be running the football, or it should be a play action more than that. It should be. So we got to do a much better job. We have to do a much better job in the red zone, okay? 3rd down. If we want to win, we're trying to advance in the playoffs and try to get the Super Bowl, we need things like that to happen. We got to do a much better job in those areas. So, yeah.
And on the touchdown that Pacheco had on the receiving touchdown in the first quarter, someone took a still of it from like the kind of the bird's eye view look of it. Rashee Rice was doubled. Yes. Kelce was doubled. Mm-hmm. Wide open in the middle of the field for Pacheco to eat. I mean, I'm curious how many other times when they're playing us like that, where there is a guy wide open like that in the middle of the field, i.e. Pacheco. And there's a point in the game where it was only Noah Gray, Rice, and Pacheco were the only three guys who had touched the ball at one point in that game. Like it was for first half. I think it was primarily the entire first half was just those three guys who had touched the ball, which I thought was pretty interesting. What do you make of Kelce? Kind of them limiting Kelce, make them obviously he's getting doubled, but like, what did you think of him not getting the ball? I mean, do you think we need to make a more of a concerted effort to get him the ball? I mean, even if it is kind of like a quick screen in the first quarter. I mean, what do you think?
No, look, that play, first going to that play, man, it was a great play design, actually, because you had three guys and it was all spaces. So what you do is Kelce's running off two, and Richie James is running that back, baseline is what he's going to run. So he opens it up. You have another one running them off, and then he runs the arrow or the halfback angle right behind it, and it just opens up. It was beautiful. Matter of fact, when he comes in motion to the diamond look with the four guys, you see the defensive end kind of walking out there. He actually winds all the way out. He didn't even line up where Pacheco was. So he gets a little bit wide. His whole alignment just messed him up. And so when you had to have him being the guy that was on man with Pacheco, he was already lost because he didn't know where the leverage was. So it was that in itself, man, was a good play design. So sometimes Kelce he's going to lose out on those battles because they know the one guy that can't beat you is Kelce. And I get it. Every time he's coming off, they play in the combination coverage with Kelce. Beautiful thing. We did the same thing with Jamar Chase. How do you negate that? Well, you disguise it, run a little bit doubles, which you can, maybe a little bit low coverage coming down, rob the guy that's coming around in the flat or, on the shallow cross. But Kelce sometimes knows games like this, he may not be the one that's going to be able to kill you. And so I know it's frustrating for him, but he'll take this win. If other guys are eating, Kelce is a guy that I think he's very unselfish. So if these other guys are catching balls and doing that, he's fine with them. He is absolutely fine with it. We were talking about it, me and Billy Babe. Shouts out to him, to Babes, another tight end that we played together. We were talking like it looked like Kelce was jogging on a couple of routes. And I said, well, he's jogging because he knows it's not going to be open. He's still taking two. And so they just trying to wear him out as much as possible. And that's frustrating with Kelce, man. But they said there's no way they were not going to let 87 beat him. And so when you had one-on-one with Kelce, Patrick took him. And so little things like that, when he got the first down, that was a beautiful throw, running the out route. But I think, man, you try to get him going. He's another one. Teja, you know how you was talking about those little screens and stuff? I think you throw one to him, try to get him doing something. But the one he just owns the middle. I think that's where you get the ball to him in the middle, man, and just let him have a little more space to work, So however you do that, man, to get that to manufacture, I think that's the way you got to go.
Career high for Pacheco rushing, by the way, 130.
Oh,
killing him. Give him his flowers. You don't think he wants to get to 1,000? By the way,
come on, man.
How far is he?
And after that game, I think he's at 935.
Damn. Okay.
So
how many games he missed? He missed 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
He missed Buffalo, I think.
12, 13, 14. He's played in 14 games.
Okay.
So yeah, he's missed.
So he's missed 2.
Two, and then they include the half of the Raiders game.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had it easy.
So I did a little digging on Kelce. You tell me what you think about these numbers. Okay, so plays of 10 yards or more for Kelce. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. 2000 this year, 39.
Okay.
Last year, 55. It's a big number. That's a big disparity right there.
Did we get my assessment?
What's that?
Did we get my assessment so far?
Yeah. Please. Because before I said that, before you do that.
Okay.
A buddy of mine asked about Kelce because they're doubling him. But in my mind, I said that, and I was like, he's been getting doubled for how many years now? He's been getting bracket for, this isn't the first year Kelce has a lot of eyes on him, right? So it's like, we can't just say, oh, teams don't want him to do well. Well, obviously, no one does, right? Like that's always the plan. So anyway, go on, please.
Kelce has not been doubled and bracketed as much as he has this year. This without a doubt has been the most I've seen Kelce get bracketed and doubled, and even triple covered, Matter of fact, we would talk about it, the tight ends, that we couldn't understand why teams weren't doing it more.
Yeah.
Seriously, I mean, the previous years when Kelce's killing you, and I think maybe because defenses just thought, well, okay, well, we got guys that can kind of match up with him, and he was just killing them. That's what they were doing. So now what they started doing, especially this year, because you don't have anything on the outside, you don't have any receivers to throw to, double Kelce, take him out of the game. And so it has been completely a different year for the doubling than what we see. I know it for a fact, just watching over the years, he has not seen this type of like defense that he has seen this entire year. That's the truth. So that's why he's frustrated. That's why he looks kind of slow. That's why they know we'll man up on everybody outside, because who you going to throw to? You got a rookie who sometimes catches screens, might take it. He fumbles the ball. MVS can't fight himself out of a wet paper bag sometimes. I'm just saying what the defense is saying. I'm not. This ain't me. Okay, I'm just. I'm just saying. I'm telling you how they talk in meetings. Okay.
Sure.
Like, okay, you got Justin Watson, who's a practice squad player from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that Tom Brady didn't want. Okay, sneaky packing. Got Sky Moore, who's 5'9" on a phone book, and then who else you got? Kadarius Toney, who gets hurt every other play, and he can't line up on sides. So that's what they're saying, right? That's what they're saying. But they have said this: the guy that is killing us, who was one of the best tight ends ever played the game, Travis Kelce, and he has a great connection with Patrick Mahomes. That's his number one receiver. That's his number one weapon. Let's take it away from him, right? So if I'm going in, if I'm the defense coordinator, I'm looking at here, and I'll put a picture of Taylor Swift up. Taylor Swift's boyfriend, or Travis, however you want to do it, cannot beat us this week. We can't do it. We can't do it. He can't be the one that's going to be able to kill us. So that's the way I look at it, man. As a matter of fact, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. And so it's really that's why he kind of looks slow. That's why he looks a little beat down. That's why he looks a little frustrated, because he knows it's been more put on his plate than it has been before. And I tell you, man, it's a luxury when you have a guy like Tyreek Hill that's played with you for all those years, that you don't have to be the one that makes the plays all the time. You got a sucker over here to catch a football and go hit his head on the cohost as well, right? He don't have that. He don't have anything close to Tyreek Hill this year. He doesn't. So I think that's what it is. As a matter of fact, I know that's what it is.
It's so interesting because his catch percentage is the second highest in his career, but his yards per reception is by far the lowest in his career, by almost 2 yards. I was trying to find his yak, but I can almost guarantee you that his yak's probably the lowest in a long time as well, because he's just not shaking loose like he had been in the past.
Sure, you got 2 or 3 guys around you. I mean, you got a crowd. That joker's being he's being huddled around like Taylor Swift. He's getting mobbed like her. So that's the reason you don't have yak yards, because they know they're going to be in the vicinity to kind of make tackles. So it makes sense. So then the level of difficulty goes up, because you're not really getting a lot of passes thrown to you, right? But when you do catch them, make sure somebody's there to hit him. And so I would reiterate that to my guys defensively. Okay. Hey, Travis Kelce is probably one of the greatest yak yard guys in the history of the game. You make sure you make a tackle, 2 or 3 hats and helmets on him every time he catches the football. If he catches it, you make him pay. You know what you do? Take some plays out of him. You keep hitting him and keep hitting him and keep hitting him. That's what you do. We got to rally, get around the ball to make sure this guy doesn't kill you. Yeah, you can't stop him, but you better make sure you don't let him get any yak yards after the catch.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.